So in
Why
part,
are you doing this?
here we go.
I told you, it's not gonna
You
work.
too?
It's not gonna work. You're just gonna throw away
No,
money.
it's a stupid idea.
It's not gonna sell.
Yada yada
You're
yada.
gonna waste your time. You're gonna waste your money.
Oh yeah, yeah,
You're an
yeah. I
idiot.
know.
Wasting money.
Yep.
It's
I hear you.
It's not gonna
I hear
work.
you. Whatever. So in part one, we built the cheapest gaming PC we could using new and used parts from Marketplace with the goals of playing AAA titles at medium to high settings at a minimum of 60 FPS at 1080p. But we also needed to buy the cheapest parts possible so we could sell it for a profit. It cost us $444 to build the PC. Now let's test it and see if we can sell it. So this is the first power on and we can see that the computer boots up just fine. Take a little look at it. Doesn't look too bad for a $440 build. So the first thing we need to do here is put the CPU through a stress test. And then after that, we're gonna put the GPU through its stress test. And then once we're done with both of those, then we'll go ahead and run some benchmarks on some video games and see what kind of FPS we get. So here we're running Cinebench R23. This puts max load on the processor so we can make sure that it doesn't overheat, make sure that the computer doesn't crash. Once it's finished, we can see our score here. It's not too bad, especially for the price that we spent on this PC build, so it's pretty good. Now this is the GPU stress test. This is called Heaven Benchmark. It's a benchmark tool to basically stress test the GPU just like we did with the CPU. It's a little bit old, but it still does the job. And here we can see that we got a 222 score on the FPS, which is really not bad. Then I went ahead and tested the Ethernet card to make sure we were getting the full throughput, and we're good. All right, now let's sit back and watch some of these video game benchmarks.
Target area marked. You're cleared hot. On your 6.
What type of approach does a superstar need in order to win a matchup like this, Corey?
It's important to remember that you can't win a match like this on emotion alone. You have to devise a plan and execute.
Once locked in the cell, we've seen superstars embrace a new sadistic level of barbaric behavior.
I agree, Byron, and it's all out of necessity. Snap suplex. Up and... Oh, knee right to the spine. Oh.
I can't believe it. Somehow able to find the leverage and get it done. It truly cannot be stressed enough. Hell in a Cell's a
All right, guys, so our goal was to get a minimum of 60 FPS, medium to high settings at 1080p, and we absolutely smashed that. I'm gonna say that this PC build was an absolute success, and now it's time to get this thing listed on Marketplace. So the first thing that I always do is I go out in my area on Marketplace and I see what's out there. I look for gaming computers that are out there to see what they're priced at, see what they have. So here's one that was priced at $850, marked down to $750 because it didn't sell. Looks like it's got an i7 7700 with a GTX 1080. It does have a 500 gigabyte NVMe, but it also comes with a monitor. So this is definitely not up to snuff with where our PC is. Here's another one marked at, or listed at 1200, marked down to 1000. Flipping through the pictures, they're really terrible pictures. It's a Ryzen 7 3700X with a 1080 Ti. Again, nowhere near where ours is at. And this last one I saw was 1125, marked down to 800, again, because it wasn't selling. This has got a 1660 GPU. It doesn't even say what processor's in it or anything like that. But one thing I do want to point out is that if you look at all of these listings, all of the pictures are really terrible. The descriptions, for the most part, are really bad. So when people are looking through to buy, they don't know what they're getting. They have no idea what's in the computer, and the pictures, they just look terrible. So for the most part, people are not going to be interested. They're not going to save that post. They're not going to reach out to you with any interest in buying it. So now we're going to take a look at the listing that I put up. To start with, there's a video. The majority of listings that get clicks all have videos. So if you want to get attention to your post, definitely put up a video. Even if it's a very short video, put up a video because it grabs attention. It separates you from all the other, thousands of listings that are out there. And then as you can see, all of my pictures are very clear. They show the components on the inside. Here's a couple of like artsy ones, again, just for attention, because people are visual. We're visual creatures. We see something that piques our interest, and that makes us click on it. And then here, if you look at the description that I put, I listed everything that's in the computer, every single part. I mentioned what's brand new, what's not. I mentioned the benchmark test results that we got, and it's a very clear, very concise post. When someone's looking at it, it looks good, number one, which is the first thing that they see. And then as they're looking at it, there's no questions. Every question that they could ask has been answered by the description that I put in the post. So after a couple hours, I got my first legitimate hit. This person reached out. They were actually trying to trade for an Oculus Quest 2 and an Xbox Series S. I just politely told them no, I wasn't taking any trades, but thanks, and they were fine with that. The next person reached out, asked if I was firm on my price or if I was taking offers. I just let them know that, you can make an offer, but I'm not gonna go too much lower lower. After that, I just didn't hear back from him. And then the third one was actually the one that bought it. As you can see here, he just asked if it's still available. I said yes. He asked about going lower on price. This time I said I'm open to hearing offers. He offered 500. Obviously, I wasn't going to go that low. So I told him the lowest that I could go was 650. And I had my bottom probably around 600, but it's a negotiation. So I told him the lowest I would go is 650. He said, let me think about it. And actually didn't take very long at all, a couple minutes. He got back and said that he would take it, wanted to know where we could meet up. So then we just, we continued, chatting for a little bit after that, worked out a place where we could meet up, and I met him and dropped it off, and it was sold. So if we take a step back and we look at everything that we purchased in order from the most expensive, the GPU was 130, the CPU was 70, the motherboard was 67, the RAM was 60, the PSU was 40, the case was 40, and the SSD was 37. That brings our total to $444. We sold it for $650, which is a profit of $206. So those numbers aren't exact because there were taxes on the Amazon purchases. So there was an additional, 15 to 20 bucks, something like that. But still, it was a good profit. So it doesn't always work out this way. This one actually sold relatively quickly within a day and a half. I only had 3 people reach out. Usually it's a lot more than that. There's a lot more scams, things like that to weed through. But this one actually went relatively smoothly and relatively quickly, and it worked out in our favor. So anyone who says that you can't buy cheap parts, online, whether it be Marketplace or eBay or Jawa or anything like that, but anyone who says that you can't buy cheap parts online and then turn around and build a decent computer with it and sell it for a profit, in my experience, that's just not accurate. I've done this a few times now, and I've made a profit every time. They're not always 200, but I've never made less than 100. And that's simply because I just refuse to go that low. I feel like my time and effort is worth at least that. So yeah, I thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for the next one.